to look at those. Thank you. So if you want to take a couple minutes to just kind of review those two particular slides, and then that will lead us to, yeah, to Janelle. And Janelle put together a video that we'll watch because she's also not able to be here, but she has a video that she put together. So take a couple minutes just to look at those slides. I'll pause for a moment here. Hopefully you got a chance to check those out. Again, Sandy and Kelly are very, they respond very well when requested information from them. So Janelle had put together a few slides. She was not able to attend. She's called away, but she put together a Loom. And so please give me a thumbs up to make sure you can hear her update once I get it started here. So here we go.
I wanted to give a few updates about what's happening with the Disciplinary Literacy Task Force. First things first, just I want to encourage you to share the word about the Michigan Assessment Consortium Assessment Learning Network series. We have an upcoming webinar with Mary Starr focused on science assessment, and then Darren Stockdale on social studies assessment. These are really great webinars, really accessible for folks to attend. So please take that flyer and share it. If you don't already receive our newsletter, please make sure you do that. We're sending them every month. We know a lot of you are thinking about PA 146, and we know that there are a lot of implications for secondary and questions related to that. As a task force, we're thinking about that quite a bit and working on some messaging. But in the interim, we know that attending to vocabulary, morphology, and language instruction in all secondary courses is really important. So there's a white paper there to support you and your locals and thinking about that aspect of disciplinary literacy. And also just encourage you to make sure you know who is on the task force so you can click on that link to find out. We also have an upcoming professional learning offering that we're offering on February 13th. People can attend in person at Montcalm Area ISD, and then we'll also have a Zoom option available for ISDs that would like to serve as satellite sites. And our goal is to get secondary leaders in the room or Zoom room to really think about planning forward. So what might it look like to create a disciplinary literacy professional learning plan for the upcoming school year? We know folks will be thinking about what high quality tier 1 instruction looks like as part of their multi-tiered systems of support. And this can be a piece of that. So we hope that you'll talk with your GELN member, your director, your locals, and make sure that you consider being a satellite site on that day, if not attending in person. And then finally, we really want people to recommit to sharing the EduPass course series with their locals, whether the online platform of the course series or those facilitation guides with slide decks. Really, the time is now for us to be thinking about improving tier 1 instruction at the secondary level. We know our adolescents are lagging behind in their literacy development, and this is one thing we can all do at low to no cost to really get the conversation going. So there's a one-pager linked there that has the links to register for the EduPass courses, and then on the second side are links to the facilitation guides and slide decks. So if you have any questions about that, please let me know. We have a link there of which ISDs have had some locals engage in these EduPass courses, and these numbers are not anywhere close to where we need them to be to improve tier 1 instruction at the secondary level. So take a look, help us spread the word, and thanks as always for continuing to think about how big kids need literacy too.
So special thanks to Janelle for being willing to put that together for us. I even offered that I could speak to her slide, but she was insistent on doing that. And if you did want to watch that instead of waiting for the video, even though it will be on the website and video, there is a link in that presentation. You could watch the Loom for yourself. She did link the Loom link right there. Continuing with MRA. So for MRA, again, Liz is not able to speak to the slides, but I believe they're similar to what they were. So again, Anita Archer coming as the keynote. The date is on here. And I believe in the notes of this, it looks like new additions. So there's some new additions around what they're offering around coffee and breakfast and lunch for Saturday with registration fee. Uh, Also at the bottom, I think it says there's a link to registration there in the notes. Obviously, it's not on the slide deck, it's in the notes of the slide deck itself. And as always, I know this is always an exciting piece for those that take advantage of it. There's the Kaleidoscope student authors, so you can submit those student writings, and that window is open, and there is that free entry per building. But with that submission deadline coming up quickly here. And that takes us to Nikki. And Nikki, I believe you're connected here.
I'm here.
Perfect. And Nikki, if you needed, a couple more minutes, I know you've got some passage-based writing slides you wanted to speak to. So, but go ahead.
I am good. Welcome, everybody. It's nice to see you. I'm going to start with a slide that I shared with you the last time, and I'm going to speak to you on behalf of the MD updates on the online tools training. We do have our early literacy and math benchmark um, online training tools that are being updated, and they will be posted this spring. And then the last time we met, I was not sure as to when they would be able to post the MSTAT passage-based writing and the released items for grades 4 and 6. So our vendor was able to get that up and running, and that is currently online. So there is a link there. And if we move to the next slide, these are the topics that I'm going to cover today. The first one is the test development blueprint. The second is the 4-point scoring rubric. And then the release passage-based items for grade 4 and the scoring guides and scoring point papers. Oh, I can't hear you.
Just because I'm sharing it, just to
Okay,
keep it flowing, sorry. But yeah, if just tell me
no
next slide.
problem. Okay, thanks. Okay, so here is our test development blueprint. And the claims are the four main claims of the Michigan ELA standards: reading, writing, listening, and research. It's outlined as to the item count or range of items per claim. And as you can see, the writing claim is found within that 12 to 15 item count. So there's one passage-based writing item for all grades 3 through 7. It is worth 4 points. And in this blueprint, you can see it's under claim 2, like I said. And the passage-based writing covers the following writing standards: standards 2, 4, 8, and 9. Next slide. Okay, so I just included a link here to the rubric, but if we move to the next slide, I just want to point out a few things. So this is our 4-point rubric, and if you can look across the top in each column, you'll see that I've highlighted in yellow some kind of keywords that differentiate the scoring points for the passage-based writing. So the first one demonstrates effective analysis of text and skillful writing, keyword being effective. If we move down to a score point paper of 3, it demonstrates adequate analysis of text and appropriate writing. A score point of 2 demonstrates limited analysis of text and inconsistent writing. And a score point of 1 demonstrates minimal analysis of text and inadequate writing. I also want to point out that the bullets in each of these columns are consistent if you move from left to right across the columns. So each column has 8 bullet points. And if you look across the first bullet point, I've outlined in blue effectively, adequately, inconsistently, and minimally. So you can see where the different score points fall for each of those categories: 4, 3, 2, and 1. So a score point paper of 4 effectively addresses all parts of the task to demonstrate an in-depth understanding of the text. Score point of 3 adequately addresses all parts of the task to demonstrate a sufficient understanding of the text. Then inconsistently addresses some of the parts of the task to demonstrate a partial understanding of the text, and minimally addresses parts of the task to demonstrate an inadequate understanding of the text. And then if you look down to the green, if you follow those bullet points across, um, you can see how the words are changing for each of the score points. Any questions about the rubric before we move on?
And you didn't highlight further, but assumedly the rest of those bullet points, you see that same flow of complexity.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
And real quick, back a couple slides on that.
Sure.
You mentioned that there's one item, but it has 4 questions. Does that mean that,
It doesn't have 4 questions. It's
oh, it's
the
4 points?
passage-based writing is worth a total of 4 points. So
Okay.
a student could receive 4, a 3, a 2, a 1. And then I'm also going to address the non-scorable, and I'll show you that further on in the slide deck.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so this is just kind of a screenshot of what the passage-based writing main page looks like, and then I've added the address at the bottom so you can reference that. You can see grade 4 and grade 6 are kind of on top of one another, and those are the two that are newly released. And today I'm just going to talk about grade 4, but you can go in on your own time and peruse grade 6 as well. Can you click to the next slide, please?
Yes. Could you just reiterate as you're going into this sample, what were the standards again? Was it 2, 4, 6, and 8?
Yes.
And that would be for 3rd through 7th grade?
Third grade is a little bit different, but most of them do apply. Yes.
Okay. And then that
2, 4,
rubric,
8, and 9. I'm not sure if you said that.
oh,
2, 4, 8, and 9.
2, 4, 8, and 9. Okay, my fault. I
Correct.
did not say that. And then that rubric, it's the same. Is that the same rubric or does it adjust per grade levels?
It is the same rubric for all grades.
Okay.
Okay, and I have a question. Can you go
Sure.
back a slide, Mark? So when you say released, these were
Yes.
old released. Are these new updated released items? I know the ones before, I think were from Pennsylvania. Are
Yes, these
these
are
actually
Michigan.
Michigan? All of
Yes, correct.
these?
Yes. Well, grade 4 and grade 6 are released Michigan items, and they were tested operationally a few years back.
Okay, but then everything else would still be the Pennsylvania ones,
Correct. We
correct?
tried to release a lower L and an upper L so that you could kind of see the difference in the progression. And we are working on releasing the remaining grades for next year.
Okay, and these were not like field tested items. These were actual
Yes.
prompts that have been used. Okay.
They were field tested as well as operational items. So these were taken in a field test setting and then also operationally. And they were operational for 2 years.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so here are the released passage-based writing items. Grade 4 for the online training tool is the story called The Right Place at the Right Time, and grade 6, a story called The Fight for Toledo. So the top link is going to take you to the actual prompt, and then the bottom is going to be the scoring guide, and it will give you in a annotation as to why that paper scored that. And I'm going to show you all of that in the upcoming slides. I'm wondering if you could go ahead to the next slide, but we might need to come back to this slide. Okay, thank you. So here is what the student will see when they get to this item. It is number 7 on the test. And I just want to point out a few functions. You're probably already aware of it, but it never hurts to review. So up on the left side, you'll see a play button. So all of these passages, grades 3 through 7, have been recorded by a human voice audio, and the student has the option to either play the audio or read it themselves. And that's without any accommodations. So every student has that opportunity. So also on the top of the page, under the blue heading, you'll see the pointer, which is underlined. The next feature is the highlighter. So students can click on the highlighter and then they can go down and highlight anything within the text. The third one over is the notepad. So if the student clicks on the notepad will open and they can take notes on the notepad. And then the next one is to enlarge, and that one is the last one is usually not used. So on the right side, so on the left, let's go back. On the left is always the story. And then on the right side will be the prompt. So the stem is there. The theme of the passage is being at the right place at the right time. Write an essay to explain how this theme is supported by the passage. Use details from the passage to support your essay. And then the student will have that bulleted list, and that's just kind of a checklist for the student to review. Below that, there are some functions that are pretty self-explanatory, but there's the forward and back. So if the student wants to, like they made a mistake and they want to go back to what they had, they can click on one of those arrows. Then there's the cut and copy and paste, bold, italicize, underline, indent for paragraphs. Questions about this page? The highlighter color is something I've been working on with our vendor for quite some time. They are aware of that, and that is something that the field has brought up. I've also asked for the Post-its to have different colors too, because I know a lot of teachers like to organize by color. The, introduction might be one color, the body one color, and then the conclusion another. As far as Post-its, highlighting the same thing. If they have something they want to put in the introduction, they could highlight it one color. I do think that would be very helpful, but our vendor has not been able to produce that yet. But I will continue to work on that because I know that's important. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to try and keep up with the chat, but if I miss something, let me know. Okay. If you could go back to the slide where it says release passage-based items, and we're going to try this out, and hopefully all of our links will be active and work. So if you click on that first link, yep, right there. Yep, English Language Arts.
If you can hear my voice,
Okay.
select a sound.
Practice with sample
Okay, if you
items.
stop right there,
The following
can
set
you
of
go
questions
up
is
to
intended to
the
provide you with
address
an
at the top
opportunity to learn about the different
and
kinds of
backspace
questions
to
you
the
may
number
see on the
sign?
M-STEP test. You can try these sample questions as many times as you want. Now,
And then
select
if
the next
you
arrow to go to the next page.
type the word items, ITEMS, \7, and then hit enter. There, now we don't have to listen to all the directions. Okay, so if you would, I just want you to be able to listen to the human voice. And so if you push play,
The right place at the right time. Putting down the phone, Russell frowned. I can't find anyone to go to the movie with us. Everyone I talk to says it's either the wrong time or the wrong place. It's all right with me if it's just the two of us, said Dad. My friends and I like to see movies together, explained Russell. Then later, We like to talk about what happened in the movie. Sometimes it's hard to come up with a schedule that works for everyone, Dad said.
Okay, so as you can see, it's not robotic. It is an actual human reading the passage. And the reason that we chose to do that is because it sounds more like, what they would be accustomed to hearing in the classroom, if the teacher were reading it loud. And I think it also helps with the phrasing because sometimes that text to speech is more robotic and the phrasing's a little off. So all of these are human HVA recorded text, and the student can, like I said, choose to listen to the entire text, or if they want to, let's say they're working on their written response and they want to go back, they can hit play and re-listen to the entire text again. They can pause it at any time. And I think this is kind of a helpful feature for those kids because we're evaluating their writing, not necessarily that they can decode and read it. So if you wouldn't mind, could you click on the highlighter tool? And then could you just highlight something randomly on the page? Yeah. So if you move up with the highlighter, you can do just a line, yep, or a paragraph. You got it. And then if you would click on the next button up there, which is the notepad. Yep. And then the student can type on there. They can click on the bar at the top and then move it around if they want to put it like, yep, different size. So there's lots of choices. I think that, I'm not sure why it's not moving down there. But that is something I will need to investigate. Okay. Then,
Nicole, I have another
yes,
question.
sure.
They can still use scrap paper if they don't want to use that note page, correct?
That is correct. Yes. Yes. Yep. And then if they want to turn the highlighting off, they can just click on the arrow and yep, either way. Yep, very good. Okay. So if we could go back to the released passage base, yep. And then if you could click on the scoring guide, I just want to show you here. Okay, and then go to grade 4. Okay, so here is the scoring guide. If you scroll down, you'll see a table of contents. Yeah, very good. Okay, so on the slide deck, I only included one sample for each score point, but you can go in and look at all of them. There are multiple score points examples in here, so not each paper is going to be the same or follow even the same format. And it's kind of interesting to take a look at this and see kind of how the students were scored. So if you scroll down, here's the prompt. Yep, you can keep going. And then there's the rubric. And you can go down again. Okay, if you stop right there. This is a score point 4. So it will have, this is example A. It will have the prompt at the top, and then that's what an actual student from Michigan responded, how they responded. And this is a 4-point paper. If you go down again, okay, right there is the score point 4 annotation. And it also matches example A with example A. So you can tell that that goes with that. They're all in order. And then if you go down, here's a score point 3. And if you continue, there's the annotation. And if you go probably about halfway down, you will then see, if you keep going, yep, keep going past the ones. Right there. Okay, so this is the condition code outline. So if a student scores a 0 points, they would get the code BILTM. And then this is an explanation of why they were not given any points for their written response. So if you scroll down, this is an example of one of those condition codes. So the student wrote, I forgot how to do this. If you go down, there will be an annotation underneath, and it's really short. So this is another, yep, thank you. This is another response. So that student scored an insufficient. And if you go down again, there's just some other examples so that you can kind of see this is what the students are doing, and they're receiving condition codes. And so it kind of outlines that for you. Questions about the scoring guides?
Just to quick confirm, the rubrics aren't
Sure.
necessarily, are they updated? Or they're just, you were just highlighting the progression of the skill?
The rubrics are exactly the same.
Okay.
Nothing has changed. I just wanted to point out because it's a holistic rubric, which means that a student may do, like, may hit one of those bullets in, let's say, the score point of 3, but then maybe their spelling was really bad and they got a score point of 2 for that. So the team or the committee of teachers that evaluates um, those responses would look at the paper holistically. So they're not looking for just one thing. And so if the majority of the paper falls into a category of 3, but maybe their spelling or their grammar is not at a level 3, the student can still receive a score point of 3 on that paper. But nothing on the rubric has changed. I just wanted to highlight that to show you that each bullet going across is identical in the idea, but how the student fulfills that is where it's different. So it might be inadequate or partially does it versus, you know, has, I don't remember the exact language for 4, but has all parts of this, and then maybe at a lower level has some parts of this. So I just wanted to point that out because um, the rubric, it looks daunting, but it's really not. It's the same thing, just at various levels. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So if there are not any further questions, yep, if you go to the next slide after that. Oops, right there. Okay, so this is kind of an outline of how the student might set up their paper as they're writing. You can see that they've highlighted some text, some key details that they want to include. The notepad is open and they kind of did an outline with an introduction, paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, conclusion. And then they have started their writing piece in the response area. And this is an exact response taken from one of those scoring guides. Obviously, I can't see the notepad, so I made up that part, but that's kind of how this is intended to be used. But again, they can use the scrap paper if that's more helpful and provides less busyness on the screen for them. So questions about this page? Okay, if you want to go into the next one. Okay, so this is the scoring guide. We've looked at it from the link. There's an additional link. It's the same thing. If you go down to the next slide, I wanted to take a few minutes to actually look at what the student wrote. So if you take a few minutes, and you don't have to read the whole thing, but if you can read part of this and kind of look at how the student is structuring their response, that would be great. And then we'll just have a quick discussion in maybe 2 minutes. I'm not as great at my wait time anymore, so did everyone have enough time to kind of look it over? Okay, great. If you can go to the next slide. Okay, so what did you think? Did you think this was a score point of 4 as a paper? So the committee reviews this. This is a group of teachers, all Michigan teachers and educators. They create our scoring sets, and there's a facilitator who records their responses. They have to come to consensus, so there's a lot of discussion that goes on. And this is the annotation based upon that range finding committee. So this response effectively addresses all parts of the task to demonstrate an in-depth understanding of the text. There is a strong organizational structure and focus on the task, which includes logically grouped ideas, an effective introduction, development, and conclusion. Transitions are used to link ideas, the first piece, another piece, at last, a last piece. There is thorough analysis present based on explicit and implicit meanings from the text. If he hadn't been kind, he wouldn't have gotten that special spot in line. This taught him to keep trying. Planning ahead pays off. There is substantial and accurate reference to the main ideas of the text, and relevant key details are provided. Millionth customer and getting the prize. Russell lets some girls and his friends cut in front of him. He should be flexible in order to figure out a time. Some precise language is present, wholeheartedly, specific, and awesome. Errors present do not interfere with meaning. Questions about the score point? Okay, can you skip to the next slide? This is a score point of 3. So take a minute and look this one over. Okay, did I give you enough wait time? Great. Okay, if you go to the next slide. Okay, this response is a score point of 3. It adequately addresses all parts of the task to demonstrate a sufficient understanding of the text. There is an organizational structure and focus on the task, including a clear introduction and conclusion, analysis based on explicit and implicit meanings from the text. If he did not do that, he would not have been the millionth customer. Because of that, something good happened. Because he let everyone cut in front of him, he won a prize. You could get an intrinsic and intrinsic reward. Support the idea that that Russell was in the right place at the right time. And although somewhat repetitious, there is a sufficient reference to the text and main ideas. Did something kind and let everyone cut in front of him. Errors present do not interfere with meaning. So I'm wondering if you could click back to the rubric, which was on slide 19. Okay, so that was a score point of 3. So I want you to take a minute and look through the bullets for a score point of 3. Okay, so based on what you've seen so far, and now going back to the rubric, is the rubric a little bit clearer to you? Do you have questions about the rubric or how the scoring guide works? Oh, I see a question in the chat. If the student clicks past the passage-based writing task, can they go back? If that happens and it's an accident, I would contact the help desk, and they will advise you as to what they would like you to do next. So I'm not sure if they would issue you a new item. When I say new, there are 4 options that the student can receive. So they may just assign a new one for them to start. I'm not sure how that would work. I guess it depends on the circumstance, but I would reference that help number. Okay,
Okay, and then
questions?
when you say 4 items, is that four options per grade level?
Correct. Yes, but the student does not get to choose which one. I've also talked to our vendor about that, offering choice between a nonfiction and a fiction. But that's a slow going process as well. So the computer just randomly picks one of the 4 prompts that are available. Good questions. Okay, if you go back to, I believe we were on slide number 29. I've included each of the score points because I think it's important to look at the difference in writing between each score point. You can see the length is getting shorter, but that's not to say that length really plays a role. There have been some really long ones, long responses that are just very repetitive and they may get a score point of 2. But you can see the organization changes, you can see the structure of the paper changes. This is a score point of 2, so I will give you less time because it's shorter, but take a minute and look this one over. And if you go to the score point annotation on the next slide, the response inconsistently addresses some parts of the task to demonstrate partial understanding of the text. That's where those highlighted words are coming in. So this is a partial understanding. There's a weak organizational structure and limited use of transitions to link ideas. One reason, my second detail, on a time and place to come. Oops, sorry, skipped a line. There is limited reference to the text using some details. They agreed on a time and place to come. He was flexible about what time and day that ineffectively support the task, and many errors are present in sentence formation. Spelling and punctuation sometimes interfere with meaning. Okay, the next slide. Read this one over. It's a score point of 1. And the next slide is the annotation. This very brief response only minimally addresses parts of the task, demonstrating an inadequate understanding of the text. There is insufficient reference to the text. He would not have been the 1 millionth customer. Errors present do not interfere with meaning. This response is a low 1. And if you go to the next slide, this is an example of a non-scorable paper. And if you click to the next slide, I guess that's it. Okay, what questions do you have for me?
I'm not seeing any more, Nikki, but thanks for walking us through that.
You're welcome. Okay, so please take some time and let everyone you know that there is a sample set for grade 4 and for grade 6. And make sure you're using those online training tools with students because I think it's very powerful for them to know all of the resources that are out there and available to them. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, perfect. Tanya, I believe you were on here.
I'm here. Thank
Perfect.
you. Thank you, Mark. And I appreciate getting to hear many of these updates. MEMSPA is rocking and rolling right now. So lots of people in Traverse City today and lots being talked about with literacy and ELA and math. So principals are hearing it the last 2 days and tomorrow also. So quick update for the early literacy task force and some projects for MIA that are specific to this. So same update, you know who the chairs are now. Those have changed for this year with Katie Harris. Kept the link in for the quarterly meetings. If you have any questions about those, please feel free to reach out to your regional literacy coach. She is, I say she because I believe all of them are females right now, but really working hard to support those regional areas. And we have our next quarterly meeting next week. If you are a literacy coach, a part of the network, and have not filled out your targeted learning opportunity, I think those are due this afternoon. So double check that if you need to make sure and get yourself registered for those. And remember, it is a full virtual this month due to constraints with weather, just making sure that everybody stays safe. Annual report is listed. Again, if you have any time and you'd like to take a look at that, feel free to give us some feedback. We are looking for feedback, and we've gone to task force. Superintendents are starting to give us feedback. It should be at GLN soon. It might have been already. I can't remember. I'm so sorry about that one. But give us feedback. If you take a minute to look at that, that's how we improve every year. The systems learning opportunities are there on your link. Please look at those. They provide us with the opportunities that you would need to take a look at how all of our professional learning is coming together. So the codes are there. You can get registered, EduPath models, the leader series, all of your instructional rounds. Take a look at those. Registration. This is something that Michelle and Katie asked me to do a specific call out right now. The registration for the next literacy framework is out, and the next session is February. If you have not signed up for that and you want to bring a small team, please get yourselves registered. This really goes through how you set that literacy leadership and the framework and all of those necessary components that you need to put that into place. February is the next time. It's 2 virtual sessions. So opportunity is linked. The registration takes you to MAISA's registration. And then if you're on the building literacy framework, that's the handout that's available there for you to see. Gives you your enabling conditions. Dates are February 18 and April 22nd. If you have questions, you can reach out to Michelle or Heather Phelps. She'll probably have more information if you attend her work group session this afternoon, a little later this afternoon. But new session ready for you to sign up for. Bring your small team, support with your ISD and the local districts. GLN has finally approved those 4 or 5 essentials. So hooray and applause for everybody that has been on that team, specifically to this group and to the work group that Heather has set up, the group from ELTF, finally approved. And Heather's going to spend some time talking with you at the work session today about what that looks like, how those will be broken out, and start to talk to you about the professional learning. And that work group has put some time into a few different opportunities, and they're making that decision about which paths to take. Does it start with just train the trainer? Do we bring teachers in? All of those components are there. So she's going to start talking to you about that. And my guess is that we'll start to bring those 2 or 3 teams all together, because we don't need a work team now to work on the essentials specifically, but now it's the rollout. What does that look like? So Heather will talk to the group this afternoon as it relates to those 4 or 5 essentials. Last thing on our list for you to take a look at is that systems document. We have people picking it up today at the tables. It gives you connecting and coherence points for all of the pieces within MAISA and the essential practices. Data decision-making, early literacy and early math, talks about EduPath, how all of those pieces connect and then build right into your MyKIP system. Superintendents and anybody that attended John Hattie's event last month in Traverse City also received a piece of this document. We put it in all of the bags here at MEMSPA. So if you have connections with your elementary principals, ask them about it. Say, hey, did you look at that document from MAISA that talks about all the systems pieces? and how they create a coherent opportunity for you. Ask them about that when they come back. All of our pieces are embedded in there. Going back just for a quick second to Heather again, she'll be with you for the 4-5, and feel free to bring her any of those questions. Rusty's going to talk in a second now about how we're continuing to work together between math and literacy with our reduction in math funding. I'm just going to put a little plug. If you have opportunity to talk to your superintendents, please speak to them about the advocacy around our math money. It is needed. It's such a tiny little bit of money that does so many huge things around the state. So if you have time, talk to your superintendents about advocating for those funds. Does anybody have any questions for me about any of the documents that we shared? Then I am good, Mark. I'm going to turn it over to Rusty.
All right. Thank you, Tanya.
Thanks, Tanya. Thanks, Mark. Hi, all. If we haven't met yet, my name is Rusty Anderson. I work on the early math team for MAISA, doing some of the work that you all have engaged in over the last 3-4 years. We did want to just re-highlight for this group the Leader Series as an option for professional learning for both ISD and local district teams to think about adult learning systems throughout this winter and spring in preparation for the next school year. This is our third version or third year in a row where we've offered the series. Many of you have been a part of that in the past. We did launch a couple of weeks ago, and we do just want to give you all one more chance to be able to learn a little bit more and register yourself in a team if it's something that fits a district that you're with. I put a couple of resources in the chat, and also you see them on the screen. On the left-hand side is the flyer, so that gives a little bit of information about the who and the what. On the right-hand side, you see the document that we use to structure the learning from now to the time where we come together face-to-face in the spring. So basically what's represented there is a map of learning stops that ISD leaders facilitate with local district teams between now and the face-to-face dates in March. If you were unable to attend but want to learn more, in the top right of or top left of the right side of that slide where it says virtual launch, that's actually linked to the recording that we did to launch the work. So if you're like, I want to learn a little bit more about this series and see if it's right for us, feel free to grab that landing page link and click on that virtual launch at a time that works for you, and you'll get a great idea of what the purpose is, what the work is over the next few months in preparation for when we come together face to face. Again, registration link is also there. If you're interested and want to partner with a local district team, please go ahead and get registered. If you have questions, I'm happy to support any questions that you might have. Also, I partner with Heather Phelps, as Tanya has mentioned a couple of times, from MAISA to support the leadership of this work. We do have Dr. Allison Fox-Resnick, which many of you have probably run into a day or two over the past couple of years, who will be with us in March facilitating some of the content as well. Again, don't hesitate to reach out. Appreciate all of you and look to connecting soon. Thanks, Mark.
Perfect. Thank you, Rusty. And Rusty was referring to links that, again, he said are in the chat, referenced flyer, landing page, and registration, but we also will have them in the notes. And I was going to ask Tanya, and it looks like she replied about how to get to that. Thank you, Tanya. Perfect. Any other questions? All right. Thanks, you too. Appreciated. I think Annie's updates are still in here from before. So again, just here's a reference point. And Rebecca.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. We have shared this information in the past, but we just want to keep it in front of you that our third annual conference for the Reading League Michigan will be February 27th, which is a Friday, taking place at Lansing Community College. Additionally, we really want to point out the student fee. If you know any pre-service teachers or you have any interns in your buildings, we really ask you to lend a hand in getting this information to them, because that is a group of folks that we know we need to get this information to. Our keynote this year is Angie Hanlon, who has written a book related to the work that she's done with school transformation, along with Patty Montgomery, who is the owner or was the owner of Schools Cubed, who's actually done quite a bit of work in our state. And additionally, we were really wanting to align our speakers with some of the information that would be necessary to inform educators related to the dyslexia law and some of the characteristics of dyslexia. So Dr. Sonia Cabell was a really important for us to bring to you related to language. One of the comorbidities we know with dyslexia is developmental language disorders. And Dr. Cabell has written the books Strive for Five, and it's really about how to elevate conversation. And we really think that that's important information for everyone to have at hand. And her approach is really simple things that teachers can do right in real time to elevate conversation in the classroom and language. And then Dr. Steve Dykstra, he does a lot of work around the emotional, psychosocial characteristics of students with low literacy or ill literacy in adults and how that's really effective. I mean, affects them, not effective. Next slide, please, Mark. I wanted to draw your attention to our YouTube channel, specifically the newest video that we have with Dr. Adria Truckenmiller, aligning to the fact that we have our new assessment coming from the MDE, the required assessments, that screening information about assessment by Dr. Truckenmiller is pretty amazing. Some of the research that she's done and very informative. If you need some deeper understanding as that a new assessment list comes out about making some decisions. Also really buried in these video opportunities is something that we offered 2 years ago by Dr. Mark Shin that I think you might find interesting related to assessment as well. And then you'll see right there some language pieces that are right for your taking related to bilingual learners and multilingual learners. Again, with that thread in mind that we really need to be considering language as we're moving forward. We've done a lot of work at the word recognition level, but we need to be considering language related to dyslexia and the characteristics of dyslexia. Next slide, Mark. We also wanted to make you informed of the fact that the annual conference for the Reading League will be in Chicago again next year. So it was in Chicago this year and will be in Chicago again next year. Well, one of the really amazing opportunities that we had this year at the Reading League was Dr. David Scher was there, and he was sharing some of the most recent research around multifactorial combinations that are really important for us to understand, along with Linnea Aries' work. So you'll have access to really just seminal researchers at this conference. So feel free to take a look at that information at thereadingleague.org. Next slide. And there's just contact information for us. Thanks again.
Perfect. Thank you. Questions? And I know I've had the opportunity to actually see Dr. Truckenmiller. Truckenmiller, yeah. And she really does make the research practical for as nerdy as she is as a researcher. And I mean that in all of the highest complimented ways. She makes it very palatable.
I have a quick question, Rebecca. Because I also watched that video and loved it and got a lot out of it and shared it with districts. I didn't go to the original. If we wanted the slideshow, is it possible to reach out and get that information, or did you have to attend the webinar to be able to get the resources? You're muted, sorry.
Everything's free on the website as far as the video. If you're talking about the PDF of the slides.
Yes.
Look on the comments. If it's not there, would you send me an email and I'll make sure that it gets linked in there and sent directly to you as well.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, perfect. And I don't believe I've seen Dot.
No, that's over here.
Oh,
She did send me, Stephen Curry, to share some messages with you. I get to work with on the MyKip team and share some things, so we
perfect.
can go through that if you like. Thank you.
Yep.
So, a new release, some enhancements, an exciting enhancement that a team actually truly enjoyed yesterday at one of the roadshows was the interim target measure completion option. It provides selections for the team to say that they were satisfied with the work that happened or know that they weren't. They were uncertain about, you know, understanding what happened there as they were assessing the interim target, and another one that says the measure has not been reviewed. There's also a box there that allows a team to be able to make a brief comment that would be beneficial to them as they think through. For example, a team yesterday was like, "Yeah, we did this. This was great. It'd be really good for us to scale this up to a different building." And so they're really thrilled to be able to have that piece there. So a few of the updates that are provided in that, the breadcrumbs moved so that they're easier to get at. And they have a nice feature to be able to navigate through the platform. The data store name and some other revisions. So I don't know if there are any specific questions around any of those updates, or if you or a team that you're working with would like to do a refresher with that. Information is on here. She has continued to do those, and those are growing as folks are engaging in the work of updating their MyKit platforms and moving forward in that. And so, it's really I'm excited about, and we're excited about how that went. That is a past item, and so we can go right off to the next slide, which essentially is just a reminder. The roadshow continues. The roadshow expansion pack, which, as you can see, we have a nice little menu here of items that are designed to assist districts as they move into the next steps of continuous improvement and consider things like their CSI plans and TSI and the work that they're doing around that particular work. So please reach out to Dot if you haven't had a team come out, or in this space you want to collaborate with a neighboring ISD partner so that we can spread that reach. We can work those out. We've done that as well. Next slide, you'll see that part of the MyKip adventure has been talking about your resources and how to consider, do you have all the resources that you need throughout the entire continuous improvement process. This piece here includes considering building a high-level understanding of how schools and education is funded here in Michigan. So there's an opportunity to include that in the roadshow experience. We've done that, and folks have truly enjoyed that and thought differently about that planning process as they've gained and considered those pieces there. So we talk about what how does that happen? We talk about the importance of understanding the resources that are necessary to be able to implement whatever you're implementing. And then it's finished off with a section on what's called budget from ERS, which really works through and thinking through the challenge of making trade-offs based upon your district priorities. So it's a fun activity if you're interested in participating in that. On the next slide, we have an update on the collaborative partners. This again was here the last time around. These are coming. And if there was a recent email that was sent out with these dates on there, if this is an email that you wished you would have received, please contact Jennifer so that she can make sure that you are on the listserv so that you can get this information as we continue our supports and our partnership and collaboration as we work with those districts that are serving schools that have been identified for additional support. On the next couple of slides, we have an update from Dave regarding the strategy bank. So there are new materials in there related to Section 35M and literacy. So we've heard a lot about that this morning. So there's a list of approved materials, and those things are included. I was encouraging you to take a look at some of the strategies. There are three that are there that are listed. He also is encouraging you, if you've got questions about this, please contact him. He is more than willing to work with you to either build strategies, to answer questions, help people navigate that. The goal is to get as many people in there as we possibly can as they consider the strategies that they're looking to implement. And of course, he wants to point out Amanda Stoll is also a great resource for you at MAISA. They work together, and they currently have a feedback survey, which they really, really want you to participate in. So if you could do that, I think there's some more information on that on the next slide as well. So it talks about the survey being divided into three areas: the product and functionality, partnerships and engagement, and end user engagement. So that survey is open now, and the link is right on the bottom there, my strategy bank user feedback survey. Again, as you utilize that link, or if there's a question with that link, please feel free to get a hold of Amanda or Dave, and they would love to help you out. I believe there might be one more slide.
I'm not seeing another one. I think that was it.
That was just on the wrong slide.
Okay. Did you have? We're good.
Yes, I'm good. So unless folks have questions or
Yeah.
Yep.
What questions might we have? I appreciate the opportunity to provide feedback and get some of the newest on where the strategy bank is moving. All right. Well, thank you, Stephen, for jumping in and helping out.
Yeah.
All right. And Ellen.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for allowing me to join you in Kathy Dewsbury White's stead. She sends her regards, but she's up at the MIMSPA meeting and asked me to fill in. So I'm Ellen Vorenkamp. I'm the Professional Learning Director and Board Vice President for the Michigan Assessment Consortium. As many of you probably know, we work very hard across the state to help integrate assessment into curriculum and instruction, to make it not an afterthought, but an integral part of the teaching and learning process. Really developing the foundational ideas that good assessment can stem from. And I just wanted to share with you just a couple of professional learning opportunities that we have in the next couple of months. So if you could go to the next slide. Our ALN, and thanks to Janelle, she already kind of whetted your appetite for this one. We have been working with Janelle and the disciplinary literacy team around integrating good assessment practices into that assessment the disciplinary literacy. And on the next slide, you'll see that we do have Mary Starr will be joining us next Wednesday, December 10th. It's a virtual session. It is designed specifically for middle school, high school science teachers. It's unusual that those teachers oftentimes will get their own specialized professional learning opportunities. So we're hoping you might spread the word. There's a QR code up the top. You can register for this one. You can register for Darren Stockdale, who will be coming in March. And you can register for the May 6th as well, or you can just register for the one. So if you have science teachers who would like to come in December 10th, that's great. And then your social studies teachers on March 10th, and then maybe they can come back in person at the University Club on May 6th. We are looking to get some expertise in terms of people who are doing some really good interdisciplinary, the disciplinary literacy and integrating the assessment pieces to come and showcase their work on that May 6th date. So please share that with your colleagues. On the next slide, we have an ALI alumni series that we're running this year, and we've already had Aaron Boffman come and talk to us about artificial intelligence in the assessment world and what that could look like. But we do have now Jay McTighe coming up in January. Most of you know Jay. He has done a lot of work around backwards design, but he also does a lot of work around performance assessments and really integrating authentic, real life, real world experiences for students through our assessment practices. If you're doing any work around competency based, then performance assessments would be a natural progression in terms of your assessment systems. So if you have any interest in that, and then in April, we have Matt Townsley coming in. And again, you can register for each of these individually, or you can register for this series as a whole. If you've been part of our ALI in the past, you can get a discounted rate. And if you're just new to us, it's not that expensive either. So we'd love to see you at some of these webinars. The next slide. We always hold a statewide reading opportunity. And this is our MAC Reads. This year we have Star Saxton. She has written a new book, Assessing with Respect. Had the opportunity to see Star in a conference a couple of weeks ago. She's just very dynamic, very passionate, and just really about the students and what we need to be doing. And remembering that we're not always assessing standards, we are always assessing students and how the students are in regards to those standards, and keeping that human element kind of at the forefront. She's just got a lot of practical ideas to really integrate and to keep that thought in our mind that it's about the students and it's about their social and emotional needs as we go through this assessment process. And then last but not least, we have our Building a Better Assessment Future Conference that will be coming up in August, the 6th and 7th. This is a Thursday and Friday, which is a little bit different than what we've done in the past. We've got 3 excellent keynote speakers. Lillian Pace, who is from KnowledgeWorks, will be coming and talking about the flexibility that we have potentially in ESSA and how it could actually impact assessment. We have Stephen Sneed, which many of you know, going to be giving a speech on a keynote on culturally relevant assessment. And then Jill Willis is right up there with like a Margaret Heritage in terms of her research around the formative assessment process and student engagement. And she's going to be joining us all the way from Australia. So we're really excited to have them. So put that on your calendar, protect those dates. We're really excited to do that. And then also, it's not on here, but I wanted to just plug the Michigan School Testing Conference. The 61st Michigan School Testing Conference will be in Ann Arbor, February 10, 11, 12. And again, we have a really nice lineup of keynote speakers and just a lot of great sessions that are being conducted by teachers from around the state and a lot of our MDE colleagues. So if you want any information to that, feel free to give me an email and I will let you make sure you get the information to register. And Mark, I think that's it for me.
Thanks, Ellen. Appreciate it. Questions from anyone? And yeah, that partnership with Janelle has been great to hear updates on throughout the year. So
excellent. Thank you.
Yep. All right, everyone. Thank you. Good opportunity here.